Major Mohammed Ali Shah, who's also joining us now on the broadcast, of course, a defense expert. Thank you so much, Major Shah, for speaking with us early this morning, sir. What are the lessons, sir, then, that were learned in the 80s? What are the lessons that we have learned after the abrogation of Article 370? And what is it that we must do now in Punjab? Of course, not getting into the center versus state is one thing, because this is not about the center and this is not about the state, this is about India. So that is, of course, one. But what are the other lessons, Major Shah, that we get that we get from here, that we must keep in our minds when we talk about cracking down on elements such as Amritpal Singh?
Pardi, that's a very, very good question. Pardi, I have fought insurgency in Jammu Kashmir, I have fought insurgency in the northeast, and I have seen insurgency in Punjab when Punjab was boiling, not as an army officer, but as an army officer's son. And that time my father was Colonel GS when General Padmanabhan, who was the former chief, was the GOC of the division. And I did my brief schooling from Firozpur, from Punjab. Now the very fact is, we have seen Punjab boiling, and Punjab, I think, has suffered a lot. It has already suffered. It was fractured completely in the 90s, and then peace prevailed. Now there are some people like Amritpal Singh and his associates who are trying to create an environment of unrest in Punjab. This entire Khalistan movement, they tried in Canada. They were not very successful there. They tried in Australia. We have a very, very good Indian ambassador to Australia, Manpreet Bora. He took immediate action, and it was curbed to a large extent. And now the very fact is, now there was a kidnapping, again the kidnapping case on February 24th. Amritpal Singh, there was a case registered on him. February 16th, again before that, and February 17th on his associate. In fact, and that is when the trouble broke on Lovepreet Singh and Tufan Singh. Lovepreet Singh, alias Tufan Singh rather, sorry. So now the very fact is, what is the solution to this? If you ask me personally, having fought insurgency there, I think a very, very important lesson to be driven back home is, I am a firm believer of something known as a Stockholm Syndrome. Now, Stockholm Syndrome is what? Stockholm Syndrome is, I'm sure my co-panelist General Saab and of course the illustrious police officer will agree with me, that Stockholm Syndrome is when you take somebody in your captive, and instead of torturing him at a third degree, a better way would be when, like for example in Stockholm, Patty Hearst, a daughter of a millionaire, was kidnapped. And the very next day, you know what, and I'll tell all of you, the next day, she joined the kidnappers in a bank robbery. Now that was the effect of a Stockholm Syndrome. That's when a captor, who's a captive, gets sympathy for the captor. I mean, they work together. They realize that they are good people. So I really think that it is through hearts and minds. When you change the ideology through force, you can kill one Amritpal Singh, you can kill one Osama bin Laden, you can kill one terrorist. But the very fact is, will there be a solution after that? Yes, most certainly. We are military, we are uniformed people. We are there to put an end to the unrest. No, most certainly in a military way, yes. But now if we think of it strategically, intelligently, what would be the actual solution, Paridi? By killing one Osama bin Laden, did we end the entire terrorism? No. By killing one the Al-Qaeda chief after that who took over, Al-Zawahiri, did the terrorism end? No. Now an Egyptian gentleman has taken over, who is a lieutenant colonel in the Egyptian special forces. He's based in Iran, incidentally. So Amritpal Singh and characters like this, they need to be neutralized, no doubt. They need to be taught a lesson, no doubt. But the very fact is, again, when the ideology changes, when you make them feel one of their own, and which we have done, India has done all the time, it is them, these guys, baaz nahi aate, sunte nahi hai. And it is all provoked by who? By Pakistan. So I would urge people who are watching us through your channel, through this medium, whoever gets influenced, don't get influenced by propaganda of Pakistan. Don't get influenced by people who try to brainwash you. Educate yourself, understand, see this, hear this, and see what's happening around. People like Amritpal Singh, they really need to be taught a lesson once in custody, no doubt about that. I have no doubts. But again, we have tried actually, it's not that we have not tried, we have tried Op Sadbhavna. Op Sadbhavna is what? In Jammu Kashmir, in fact, General Sewaj, who has commanded a brigade very successfully in Machal sector, under his command, there were a lot of success cases. In fact, my own coursemate, they got gallantry awards there, in fact, for the operation, for the kills they did. That's very, very important. That should be done, no doubt about it. But again, General Sibaj also, when he was commanding a brigade in Machal and he had experience in Jammu Kashmir, he propagated something of winning hearts and mind, where the youth and the populi over there, the population, actually started identifying with the army. So instead of thinking that the army is there to intimidate you, the army is there to protect you. So even the same thing happened when I was in Northeast. When the locals over there, they would see me standing with my grenade jackets and my AK-47 and my bullets around. Instead of feeling that the army is there to scare them or to intimidate them, no, the army is there to protect them. And I learned Nagamese. I learned fluent Nagamese. Today I speak fluent Nagamese, more fluent than English, Hindi, or Urdu, or any other language. So people like this, yes, they need to be brought to the book, undoubtedly. But then the ideology, the bottom line to that, the ideology needs to be neutralized. It has to be nipped.
Absolutely.